Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. So far, patch 9.2 has been pretty light on PvP specific changes, but that hasn't stopped any of you from asking me in the DMs what's going to be the best class heading into patch 9.2 strictly for PvP. And today I want to showcase some of the classes that are looking quite scary, as a handful of your favorite playstyles can already use some of the tier set bonuses to create some really interesting combos. And we're still not even done with 9.2. Double legendaries still haven't been enabled, and a lot of the tier sets are not finalized but are getting worked on every single week. This video is still a very early look at 9.2. So please don't use this video to pick your main heading into the next big content update. But right before that, most of you guys watch these videos are still not subscribed. And if you're watching these videos anyway, you might as well subscribe as well as hit the bell, especially if you enjoy videos like these, where we take early looks at future WoW builds and cover all of the future updates like patch 9.2 and beyond. The first class we'll start with is with rogues, primarily assassination. Many classes in 9.2 will have to make the decision whether they want to use the tier set bonuses to PvP, or would they rather play with PvP gear that scales better within PvP. For a spec like assassination, part of your biggest strengths is burst, and your 4-piece transforms your vendetta into a massive burst window. Inside Vendetta, your bleeds and poisons, which are part of your sustain damage, ramp up and expire faster, which makes them extra bursty. Plus, the 2-piece set bonus that's getting adjusted in the future will buff the damage of bleeds and poisons after using Shiv, so it's likely assassination rogues are going to be extra deadly in 9.2. When we tested out Demon Hunters, we noticed that their tier set bonus buffs the damage of Blade Dance. Together with talents and a conduit that also buff the damage of Blade Dance, this ability, if it crits with the right setup, can do roughly 30% of someone's health in damage. Blade Dance is further enhanced if you are inside of Metamorphosis, where it transforms into a Death Sweep, a far more powerful version of this ability. Which you would imagine, well, Demon Hunters have a 4-minute cooldown on Metamorphosis, it can't be that scary. They can activate Metamorphosis with Demonic every 30 seconds, this burst can also cleave, and we haven't even seen Demon Hunters with double legendaries yet, so I imagine while they look strong now, we're probably seeing just a fraction of their power heading into patch 9.2. You might know them for their healing, but did you know that Discipline Priests can actually do damage in patch 9.2? Together with their 4-piece bonus, creative use of legendaries, and a few procs, you're able to at least drop somebody from 100% health to 50%. By no means is this the scariest burst that Shadowlands has ever seen. There's plenty of DPS classes that can do that kind of damage and more, but this is a healer. And if a healer did this inside of arenas, this kind of damage can swing games. We tried to make something work with the Shadow-based tier set, but it's pretty difficult. If your 2-piece set bonus procs often from your Devouring Plagues inside of your burst Void Eruption window, you could have mostly instant cast burst, which means that the priest doesn't have to worry about getting interrupted, but also can use this burst while on the move. But that's nowhere nearly as cheesy as what Disc Priests can do with their tier set bonus. Warriors are continuing to be monsters in patch 9.2, and they can maybe utilize their 2-piece tier set bonus to make Warbreaker windows even more effective. And I say maybe, mostly because it might not even be worth trading out some of the PvP pieces that scale better within PvP, as Warbreaker will only make your damage inside of the debuff 5% more effective. Whether you use your tier set bonus or not, Arms Warriors are still looking incredibly good in patch 9.2. While Arms is good, we wanted to find out if Fury has any potential. The 2-piece set bonus is interesting because it gives you extra charge on Raging Blow and 15% more damage, which could maybe be better for burst. In our testing, we noticed that with the talent of Reckless Abandon, having that extra charge of Raging Blow does give you a little bit extra burst. But that's never been the advantage of Fury Warrior. The spec is a lot better at sustain damage, and this tier set bonus allows you quite a lot more sustain damage than ever before. It kind of reminds me of Beastmaster Hunter, how they can just keep pelting you with damage and it just eventually becomes unhealable, because so many healers are used to trading cooldowns for cooldowns, but as a Fury Warrior you don't really have cooldowns, you just have raw carnage, raw damage that will eventually force the player behind as you continue to pummel at them over and over and over, and that by itself could be extremely scary. For Feral Druids, we tried something fun. We tried to do a no contact burst. The Feral is able to put up dots on me, rip, rake, and then you tier set bleed and just kind of AFK to see what happens. Turns out Feral Druids can melt you while barely even touching you. This isn't the fastest burst, so we wanted to record at least one clip where the Feral is able to do the most amount of damage with bites included, and yes, they definitely still have a bit of a bite to them, if you will. But you have to agree there's something cheesy about being able to put your bleeds on somebody and being able to just walk away knowing that they will 100% die without assistance from a healer or without using defensive cooldowns themselves. It's guaranteed burst damage from a dot that only a handful of classes that can stop it, maybe like hunters or any classes with immunities, but everybody else, unless you're a dwarf, you're kind of out of luck. And their 4-piece tier set bonus might honestly be worth investing into, especially if you want to really focus on that bleed build as a Feral Druid 9.2. It seems that enhancement shamans are becoming more like elemental shamans day by day. This is because of the conduit that got buffed, where whenever they spend Maelstrom on any abilities, that ability is then enhanced by 9% per stack of Maelstrom spent. You need 5 stacks of Maelstrom to make any of your spells instant cast, so you're looking already at a 45% damage buff. Together with enough crit and Sky Fury Totem, things like Chain Harvest and Elemental Blast and even Lightning Bolts can now chunk out players' health easily. We're definitely living in some weird times where an enhancement shaman has better range burst than an elemental shaman heading into patch 9.2. Windwalker 2-piece tier set makes their Fist of Furies do 40% more damage. It might not be the most intricate or the most interesting tier set bonus, but it's by far one of the strongest. Combined together with the Honor talent, where Fist of Fury makes it so you're parrying all enemy attacks, so melee can't even respond for the most part to the barrage of Fist of Fury, and it also slows the enemy down so they can't even run away from the burst either. So far in the expansion of Shadowlands, monks have had it pretty good, and most likely with this tier set, they'll continue being good and dominant within PvP. Destruction Warlock tier set allows you, when using Rain of Fire or Chaos Bolt, to make the other free as well as instant cast. This means before a PvP encounter you can use Rain of Fire a few times until you get the proc of a free instant cast Chaos Bolt. Together with the Necrolord Covenant, it's very possible to create a massive burst window in just a handful of globals. And that's most likely where we're heading when it comes to Warlocks in patch 9.2. Before we continue talking about the different classes that are doing well, I did want to highlight some of the cheesy items and trinkets that are doing maybe a little bit too much damage. The first one is a new raiding trinket. It's a Dreadlord trinket that transforms you into a swarm. While in the swarm form, you have 100% leech and do a ton of shadow damage split amongst enemies. Against a single player, in just a few seconds, you can eliminate about half of someone's health. Definitely a trinket that should be taken a look at before 9.2 gets released for PvP. The second trinket is a new PvP cosmic trinket. It's kind of like a grenade. You toss it on the ground and after a few seconds it'll explode. The thing about this trinket is it does currently about 1/5 of a player's health bar in damage. The damage does get split amongst multiple enemies, though the damage does go up the more enemies get hit by this trinket. It's been debated so far whether this trinket damage seems to be overtuned or intended, but if it is intended, then make sure to pick this up as soon as patch 9.2 drops. Marksmanship Hunter tier set allows them, when using abilities empowered by trick shot like aim shot or rapid fire, for those abilities to be 30% more effective. This is pretty easy to accomplish when you run the talent of volley, which will rain arrows on the ground but also will give a trick shot for 6 seconds. With the talent of double tap, you either can get 2 aim shots empowered by trick shot or 1 extra long rapid fire. Depending on your build, depending on your covenant, depending which show ability you prefer, you are looking at some really powerful bursts as a marksmanship heading into patch 9.2. Retribution Paladin tier set so far has been pretty broken, as in it doesn't really work. The free Seraphim you get overrides your current Seraphim, and the Wake of Ash procs do happen, just not regularly. Especially as a Necrolord Covenant, Retribution Paladins are continuing to cleave players into pieces. And this is through the new PvP gear, which offers a baseline 40% versatility, which is 20% base damage reduction. So just imagine how powerful these guys are going to be once they have a working tier set, or better yet, once they get the use of double legendaries. Arcane Mage has to take the cake as some of the biggest bursts of patch 9.2. Their tier set makes the target more vulnerable to damage, making them take 18% more arcane damage. Combine this together with all the other buffs that the arcane mage can stack. You have the biggest nuke out there, the class that can use one single ability, though their ability does need to crit, but still one single ability to one-shot a player wearing the newest PvP gear with all that extra versatility. And using the 2P set bonus to make this happen will not be difficult either. It's a pretty big setup, but I wonder how many players will let arcane mages get away with it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. You let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about the classes we talked about in this video? Let me know in the comments if you think I missed somebody, if there's a class that deserves to be on this list of some of the scariest looking classes heading into patch 9.2 for PvP. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, give this video a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. Also, in the description of every single video is a link to the channel Discord. You guys are more than welcome to join it. That's probably the best place to reach me. If you guys want to reach out to me directly, just DM me. My DMs are always open, but join the Discord link down below, become part of the community. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another one.